Well everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus and compare it against the iPhone 15 Plus and see which particular phone is a better one for you. Now I think both these phones are great. I think they have a lot of capability and a lot of quality. I don't really think there's one that's like the best one I'd recommend, over the other one. There's a lot of similarity and a lot of overlap this year, which is genuinely pretty crazy. So if you want to pick up either one of these phones this year, links will be down in the description. You can get that from there and you can help support the channel at the same time. Now, starting off with the outside of both of these phones, the front of the iPhone 15 Plus, which came out later last year, we had a 6.7-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display. Now, it was a pretty good panel. It's a fairly good resolution. You're getting the dynamic island, and there's not a lot to complain about it. It's a very good looking phone. I like these phones because they're very big, and you can basically have big size batteries in them as well. And I definitely do think when you look at this display, it holds up very well. And like I said, there's just not really that much to complain about there from a display's perspective. I can't even say it right. So that's kind of a good advantage with the iPhone 15 Plus. It's also one of the first, iPhones like this that basically have the dynamic island. So it was something really nice, or at least the dynamic island on the base models. But I will tell you with the Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus, definitely a better looking device in my opinion. So with the S24 Plus, you're getting the same size display, so 6.7 inches, but this time it's a dynamic LTPO AMOLED display. Some bigger advantages for the Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus is that you're getting a 1440p display, and it's a 120Hz display too. So those are some really good things going on for that type of panel, that type of device. The fact that you are getting basically a 1440p display, it's a better display for sure than something like the iPhone 15 Plus. So if I'm sitting there and if I'm going to get a better, if I'm going to get a new phone, I'd rather have the Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus's display because it is a significantly better display when it comes down to it. So that right there kind of covers it up there. Now some other things, they both are kind of flat-sided. So they both have flat sides, on the body. So that's kind of a cool thing going on for this particular device, that you can basically have those flat sides here, and it's a pretty easy thing to do. It's a pretty basic setup. You can basically pull this thing out, you can use it, and I really like the flat sides because it actually makes the phones feel that much more modern, which is something that's very cool. On the bottom, they both have USB Type-C ports, which is again very cool. I love having USB-C, and you're getting that type of capability on both of them. You do have a SIM card tray on the Galaxy S24 Plus though, so that might be a pretty big advantage for some people. If you're wanting a phone, you can go and get the S24 Plus and basically have a better built phone from that perspective with it having a SIM card tray. So that right there is something that I actually like a lot and prefer a lot on the S24 Plus. Now on top of that, on the back side, you're getting frosted glass backs on both these phones. This is a very interesting thing with something like the Galaxy, something like the iPhone 15 Plus, because you are actually getting, the frosted glass back on the iPhone 15 Plus, basically on the base models this time around. Before, you were not getting that, on the, base models, but now you are actually getting that, which is, again, a very, very cool thing. So personally for me, that right there is a very cool thing going on, and I definitely do think if I'm going to get a phone, I want to buy a phone that has a frosted glass back. They both have actually the S24 Plus has a triple camera setup, the iPhone 15 Plus has a dual camera setup, we're getting wireless charging on both. You are getting reverse wireless charging on the S24 Plus, which is a very cool feature to have. Unfortunately, with our iPhone 15 Plus, we are not getting that type of capability. So kind of keep that in mind there. But beyond that, I will definitely tell you with both of these devices, very good. I like both these phones a lot, and I'm definitely going to tell you when it comes down to it, I'm definitely going to want to buy a phone probably that looks like either one of these, but I will say the S24 Plus on the outside has more features for the most part than from something like the iPhone 15 Plus from what I can see. So from that perspective, that kind of covers it up there. Now on the camera side of things, both of these cameras are a little bit different than one another. So on the back of the iPhone 15 Plus, you're getting that 48 megapixel wide angle lens, then a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera, whereas on the Galaxy S24 Plus, you're getting that triple camera setup. So 50 megapixel wide, 10 megapixel telephoto, and then a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera. So I will definitely tell you on the back side, both are great. On the front side, 12 megapixel cameras here too, 4K at 60 on the front of both of these. On the back side, 4K at 60 on the back, but also you're getting 8K capability on the Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus. That is a very cool feature to have, and once again, if I'm going to go ahead and buy a phone, I would probably want it to have some sort of 8K capability to film in. That way I can have the best capability when it comes down to it. So from that perspective, you're definitely going to be getting a very solid phone in a lot of different ways from something like the Galaxy S24 Plus on that camera side. I will tell you though, from what I've heard and what I can see, the iPhones, still have superior cameras when it comes down to the, filming and Snapchat and, TikTok and those particular applications. So you're definitely going to be getting a pretty good camera from that side on those devices. But on the Galaxies, mean, these are very good cameras from the stock camera application, and that again is one of my most favorite things going on for that particular device. So when it comes down to it, the Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus probably has one of the better cameras when it comes down to it as far as I can tell. So from that perspective, that kind of covers it up there. Now, in terms of software and longevity, this is kind of the craziest thing going on here. Because before, when you were actually going through and buying something like a Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus, for example, you used to not get the most amazing software or the longest supported device. Meaning that if you were comparing a Samsung and an iPhone, typically on average, the iPhone would last longer than the Samsung Galaxy. But now those things have completely changed. We are now basically going to be getting almost the same lasting software on both of them. Now, obviously one has iOS and one has Android, so they're going to be very different from a software perspective, but how crazy is that? The phone before that basically just wouldn't last that long is now lasting a significantly longer amount of time now than before. That is just a crazy thing going on for these devices, and you would never think that with something like the Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus that you would be getting a phone that's going to be lasting as long as the iPhone that came out at the exact same time. So that right there is a very cool thing going on for that device, and I for one am a humongous fan of that. So if I'm going to get a device, I want it to last as long as possible. Both these phones are going to be lasting probably around the same time from that perspective. So that kind of covers it up there. Now from the performance side of things, the iPhone 15 Plus has that Apple A16 Bionic chip inside of it with 6GB of RAM, but the Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus has that Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chipset inside with 12GB of RAM. Now, the thing I will tell you about the performance of both of these phones is that, one, they're both very good performing devices. Like I said before, no matter really what you're going to do with either one of them, you're going to be getting a very solid experience from a performance standpoint. I feel like with the iPhone 15 Plus, this is a very, very good performing device. I like this phone a lot, and I still think it's completely, a very good device that would probably handle most things that you end up throwing at it. So the thing I like a lot about the iPhone 15 Plus is that this is a phone that basically, once you boot it up and you use it, it just is there for you. It's a very, very fast phone. You can play all the massive games, all the slow games, all the whatever you want to. It's a really good phone from a performance standpoint. I don't really know if inherently the S24 Plus seems faster. It kind of feels faster sometimes though, because it is giving you that, 120Hz display. So even when you're just kind of flipping through the pages and you're opening up applications, it does kind of give you and it makes it kind of seem like it is a faster phone in some ways from that particular perspective. So I think when it comes down to that, I definitely get the impression that it is it feels kind of like a faster phone, although it may not be a faster phone, it just kind of feels like it. But that Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, man, if you can throw some emulators on it, it is a very good chipset for those types of applications. So to kind of sum it up, what I'll definitely tell you, I think both these phones are great. I think both these phones handle a lot of things you throw at them, and I definitely do think if you're in the market, you can't really go wrong with either one of these devices. I think, Samsung and Apple have done a really good job with this generation of, devices. I just would probably tell you that if you want to, if you're in the market, maybe, I don't know if there's one that's way better. I just generally can't make a decision. I would probably say if you like Android, go for the S24 Plus. If you like iOS, go for the 15 Plus. If you don't like either one, the S24 Plus is the one that does have more flagship features. So keep that in mind, but that's kind of how I would say this comparison kind of goes. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that will mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.